because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL wildcard weekend is here, guys. Regular season flew by. We have games Saturday and Sunday, so excited weekend ahead. We also have UFC. UFC is back. PGA, NBA, NHL. Great time of the year. Great time of the year. Love Saturday football, right? We got to see it the last, 3 to 4 weeks, I think it was. I love to have some games on Saturday, end it off with Sunday. I'll quickly go over all games. I'm going to go over all games, discuss. If I have a play that I like, I'll give it out to you guys. Some insight, thoughts on the game, some breakdowns and stats that will come in handy. I do have a best bet pending this week, and it's the first best bet in the NFL all year long. I don't do a lot of best bets, guys. It's limited. I do it in other sports, probably UFC and PGA the most. Best bet in a regular season game. Is it really a best bet, guys? Let's be honest. It's playoff time, so I do have a best bet. However, the line moves, so if you want to jump on a package, I suggest not to. At least if you want the best bet. I do have multiple plays throughout the week. So far, I do have 3 client plays sent out to my guys. However, the best bet, the line moved huge. You can probably guess what game it is. Yes, it's in the Buffalo game. So you're not going to get that number anymore. Slight profit last week, however. Again, up and down due to a few upsets. I did have Green Bay. Green Bay didn't show up. I just had them in a money line, guys. I hit the other side with Seattle. So it was a Seattle-Green Bay money line parlay. Green Bay don't show up. Lose to Lions. Lions look like the 49ers on defense. It was unbelievable. A no-show at home by Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay was playing great coming into that game. Lions had nothing to play for, and they couldn't put up any points on the board. Their defense played okay. Their defense was fine. It was just the offense couldn't get going, and it was strange to see. I definitely thought Green Bay was going to win that game. And what was the other loss? Because we had a 4-0 start to the week. Oh, Dallas. Dallas didn't show up either. They couldn't get the offense going. Dak looked terrible. Is that going to carry into this week? We'll definitely see. Some good winners, though. We did have Jacksonville parlayed with, that was a mixed money line parlay, 2-teamer. Jacksonville was able to get it done. We had the under in the Miami game. We had Steelers on the spread, and also a teaser winner as well. Update on the regular season, profitable regular season, but it's been up and down. Not my best NFL regular season. And also future market as well. No profit in the regular season future market for me. We do have some pending playoff futures that I'm excited about. It's crazy because last year regular season I went 7-0 in the future market. This year up and down. I think we were 1-2 on division winners. We split on the season win totals, and we went 1-0 in team make the playoffs. We were on LA. Hottest sports right now, NHL, NBA, guys, currently. NHL, we're 4-0 run right now. 7-2 in the NBA. However, long term is what matters, right? Yeah, sure, 4-0 and 7-2 runs are nice, but I hit those all year long. The impressive part is the year. So the last 2 seasons so far in the NHL and NBA were 65% winning percentage in NBA and 66% in the NHL. That's my goal. That's what I always want. The goal is always 65 and above, right? That's going to be above most of the market, that winning percentage. And that's the goal always, right? 70 is a lofty goal. I get there some seasons, right? We've seen it in the NFL. We've seen it in the UFC. We've seen it in PGA one year. You can get there. I get there in the 70% range. Just keeping it long term is obviously the difficult part. We always want to try to stay in the 60 to 70 range so we can profit every year, and that's what I do. I'm able to profit every year. Systemsportscapping.com to become a client today and receive all my personal plays. You can start profiting long term. System Capping on all social medias, Twitter and Instagram is where I'm most active on. Guys, like the video. It helps me out a ton. Just a quick like. It's simple. It takes you 1 second, and it's your appreciation for me breaking down these games and also providing some free picks. Let's get right into it. Starting with these Saturday games, guys. Okay. Seahawks At 49ers, total 9.5, total 42. Okay, regular season meetings, San Fran 2-0. San Fran 21-13, San Fran 27-7. We have a mismatch here, guys. There's no secret about that. The 49ers have handled Seattle fairly easily in both matchups this year. I expect them to do that again here at home. San Fran is coming into the playoffs as one of the hottest teams, right? 10 wins in a row. Brock Purdy saved the season and turned out to be an upgrade at QB. Not too many people thought that would happen. It happened. Mr. Irrelevant is the upgrade at QB, and he's played well, right? He's played well. The question now is, can he carry this over to the playoffs? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he can carry it on the big stage. Right? Also the big issue, obviously, you got to look at the Seattle defense, right? It's hard for me to see Brock Purdy just fall apart here in this game and struggle against the Seattle defense, which isn't good. 26 in total yards allowed, which at 360 a game, and 30 in rushing. When I hear 30 in rushing, Purdy may not have to do a lot in this game. We may see CMC, and he's the big reason why this team has won 10 in a row. Purdy, sure. Defense, sure. But CMC. It's just a very well-balanced team. Very good on defense, very good on offense. I can definitely see this team making a run to the Super Bowl. I do think it's going to be between them and Eagles in the NFC. When it's Eagles and San Fran in the conference finals, for the most part, should be, at least. Flip of a coin. You don't know who's going to win that game. But they can make the run, right? How is Purdy going to play when he gets past into those bigger games against better defenses? Here, I don't see him having an issue against the Seattle defense. I went over the stats. It's not great. Seattle come into this game struggling to get into the playoffs. They barely beat a Rams team, Baker Mayfield. They needed OT for that one. They did not look good in that game, guys. I had Seattle in that game. I watched that game. We got lucky. We got lucky. I'd say Seattle on the money line. I don't think they covered. It could have been, they won by 3. I think it was 3 or 4.5 to spread. I can't recall. But I don't think they covered on that game. So the money line was the right play there. Besides the Dolphins, I think this Dolphins beating Bills would be a bigger upset. For sure, especially with Thompson at QB. This would be the second biggest upset. I just don't see it happening. I don't see any path for Seattle to win. They would have to have a bunch of turnovers on defense. And Geno Smith's going to have a career game. I just don't see it happening against the San Fran defense. So play San Fran in some way. I lean that 9.5 is a lot of points no matter how you look at it, especially in a playoff game when you can see Seattle playing out of their minds but still not able to win but somehow keep it a touchdown game. They could. I don't love the 9.5 spread. I do lean that way though. Total's tough here at 42. I'll be staying away from the total, but try to have 49ers in some fashion on your card. If it's a teaser, small lean to the 9.5. But San Francisco wins this game and moves on to probably play, who would it be? Maybe Minnesota, depending on who wins. Chargers minus 2.5 versus Jaguars. Total of 47.5. This is the other Saturday game, guys. Regular season meeting, one meeting, and Jags blew them out. Jags blew them out 38-10 on the road in that meeting. Now, a couple things to mention. Chargers weren't playing as good at that time. They didn't have their key piece on offense in Keenan Allen. He's a big reason why this team has started playing well. Stumbled last week against Denver, but before that they were playing great football. They didn't have Lindsey, also their center, in that game, if I recall as well. Their defense was there, and so that's a bit concerning, 38. Lawrence saw something where he was able to expose that defense. That Chargers defense had been playing good, except for last week. So you just don't know what you're going to get from this Chargers team and also this Jaguars team. I can tell you one thing, this Jaguars team's playing great coming into this game. 5-game win streak, right? They continue to find ways. They had to go on this 5-game win streak to make the playoffs, and they were able to do it. Will it carry over here? And, it's a lot to ask to lay the 2.5 on the Chargers on the road here, just because they're very inconsistent. I like this Chargers team. Skill-wise, on paper, they're one of the best teams in the league. On paper, from offense to defense, name value, they have everything you want. right? They have a good offense, very explosive offense at times, especially if Mike Williams play. Watch to see if Mike Williams plays this game. They have the veteran leadership on defense. They have the good players on defense in Mac and James and Samuel, etc. Bosa, he's back. So it's just hard to see Chargers struggle at times. And then you see glimpses where, wow, this is that Chargers team that can make a run to the Super Bowl maybe as a sneaky team. You know, gun in my head, I have to play the Chargers because I was high on them. I was high on them coming into the year, right? As I mentioned, I had the playoff future bet on them. I was high on the Chargers. And if I had to bet this game, I would have to bet the Chargers. But I'm not going to bet this game. This is not going to make my client card. I do think Jaguars could easily win this game. As you've seen, they beat them 38-10 not too long ago. That was only about 5 weeks ago, guys. So I'm staying away. I would have to do a slight lean to the under just because it's a playoff game. But again, it's not a strong play for me. I won't be betting this game at all. Excited to see what happens. Let's see if this Jaguar team can play and step it up in the playoffs because their defense has been playing well as of late. They've been winning them games, so they're going to have to do it here and try to slow down Herbert like they did in the first game. Sunday games, guys. Sunday games, we have 3, and it's starting off with the Bills minus 13.5 versus Dolphins, total 43.5. Regular season meetings 1-1, 32-29 Bills, 21-19 Miami. Okay, let's kind of forget about those games because Tua was playing in those games. So, you know, you can't really judge it too much from those games. It's a big step down here from no Tua to Thompson. It's a huge, right? This opened up at 9. It got bet down. Dolphins money came in, went to about 9. I think there was even an 8.5 out there. And then that's when I got involved with the Bills. Now it jumped up to 13.5. So, you know, now it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points there. Dolphin early bettors probably won't be happy betting it down, right? When they saw 11 or 10 or 9 and still betting Dolphins money. You're not going to love your ticket here. I kind of had a feeling Tua wasn't going to play. Too many concussions in a year. What is that, 3 in 1 year? You can't continue to play here. Skylar Thompson will be a huge downgrade. You saw him in a few games already. Just not a good quarterback. Serviceable, sure. Better than Teddy Bridgewater, no. He can run a little bit, use his legs, but you know they only were able to put up 11 points against the Jets. Jets defense decent, yes, but Jets had nothing to play for in the game. It was all for Miami. And the way Miami wins games is not their defense. Their defense is not good. The way they win games is their explosive offense. And when you take that away, because no Tua, right? They're not going to be able to get Hill the ball like they want. They're not going to be able to get Waddle the ball like they want. Mostert's coming into this banged up. Armstead's banged up. I don't know if he's playing. There's just a lot of injury issues, a lot of, obviously, the QB issue. They weren't playing good to end the year, right? Where did they lose 5, 6 in a row, and then they got lucky and won that game. Luckily, I had an over 8.5. They won 9 games just because of that last game. When they had 8 wins like 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I thought that ticket was wrapped up. Somehow, I barely got there. So yeah, big shocker if the Bills were to lose this game. Huge shocker. Could Dolphins cover 13.5? Sure. Gun to my head, I had to play 13.5. I'm still playing the Bills. I have a really nice ticket on the Bills, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, 13.5, I'm staying away. I have to lean maybe the under. The only way this game gets over if Bills get in the 30s, in my opinion. Dolphins get into to 20, I'd be shocked. I could see Dolphins around the 14 to 17 range, if they're lucky, to be honest. 17 would be if they're lucky. They'd have to get like a defensive turnover touchdown, in my opinion. Skylar Thompson won't be able to drive them down the field on a consistent basis. So it would be very surprising if... it wouldn't be surprising if this game got over. This game would have to get over, in my opinion, if Bills scored 30 plus, right? Because then you just need 30-14, it's over. Right, so it could happen, but if the Bills stay in the 24 range, which is possible, 21 to 24, this game stays under. So I would have to lean the under here. Not going to make my client card. Best bet already on in this game. So I'm going to stay away from the total here. But definitely look for Allen to have a huge game. This 27th pass against the pass on D for the Miami. 22 points per game. Bills minimum 24 points here. I'd be shocked if they don't score 24 plus. Miami would have to have the career performance on defense for somehow to win this game. Everything would have to go wrong for the Bills to lose this game. Everything. And everything would have to go perfect for the Dolphins. I don't see it happening. Bills win this one. Giants versus Vikings. Vikings -3 total of 48. One regular season meeting, and it was a good one. It was a good game, guys. 27-24 Vikings at home. Probably not many of you watched that game. Other games to watch in that time slot, but it was a good one. First and only regular season meeting this year between these two. Super close. Books are playing it safe and just going Vikings -3 at home. I get it. I get the line. This is a good line here. No really line movement all week. It's been pretty much Minnesota -3. I get it. Giants can definitely win this game. However, it would all have to depend on a few things here. On offense, to start, it would have to be Daniel Jones being a game manager and not trying too much. Use his legs. He can run, guys. Use your legs when things aren't open. Run the ball when things aren't open and aren't available. Don't force any throws. You don't have the weapons on offense to force these throws for one-on-one big catches. And then Barkley obviously has to be very effective. They got to feed Barkley 18 to 22 times, 18 at the low end. I would love to see in the 20s. And he would have to be in the 100-yard range or above with a touchdown or two for them to win this game here. And then obviously limit Jefferson. Now, limit Jefferson means, like under 80 yards, maybe one score. It can't be a Jefferson 150-yard, 2-touchdown game. Then they lose the game. That's how Minnesota strives when Jefferson's going and Cook's going and Thielen gets involved and their tight end Hawkinson. When it's all going, this offense is very good. But we also see at times where this offense is not very good. We don't like to trust Kirk Cousins in big games. We know that. In prime time. In these type of games, we don't like to back Kirk Cousins. So that's why I'm staying away from this game. I have no bet on this game at all. It is, I think, a 51-49 Vikings lean. I lean the Vikings here to win this game, but I expect it probably to be a 3 to 6 point game. Vikings probably get it done because they do enough on offense. Because they're not going to do it on defense, guys. This is one of the worst defense in the league. 31st total yards allowed, 31st passing yards allowed, 20th against the run, and 28th in points allowed. This team is going to be a one and done, guys. Again, they lose to the Giants, won't be surprised. But even if they do get out of it, they're playing San Fran. San Fran's going to walk all over them. So, sure, Vikings could win this game. Sure, I lean Vikings to win this game. Am I betting it? Am I going to provide it to my clients to invest here on the Vikings with that defense? No. I'm going to stay away from this game. But if you do want to bet it, maybe Vikings in a teaser, you get them over +3.5, +3, something like that. But I'm staying away. Ravens versus Bengals. Bengals 9.5, total 40.5 Sunday nighter. 1-1 regular season. 27-16 Cincinnati without Lamar, and 19-17 Baltimore with Lamar. Big difference without Lamar. It's a huge difference, and we're not going to see Lamar here. This line continues to get bet up. Right? What was it? 6.5, 7, 8, now 9.5. If it continues to climb, if I see 10s, I'm jumping on the Ravens. I'm going to take the points, the +10 with the Ravens. Obviously you guys know Baltimore Ravens is my team, and I don't bet on them a lot. I don't like having the conflict of interest, right? Having bet on them watching the game. I don't bet on them a ton. You'll see me bet on a lot of unders. But there's going to be line value here if you get +10 with this Ravens defense. Right? We can run the ball. Baltimore can run the ball. Huntley, serviceable. He'll be playing. He's been throwing in practice. He'll be playing. He's a serviceable guy. He's a poor man's Lamar. He can use his legs a bit. They can run the ball with Dobbins. He's healthy. Gus Edwards should be back. They scored 16 points against his Bengals team who needed to win last week with Brown, their third stringer. So here's how Baltimore somehow wins this game. I don't think they're going to win the game. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what they need to do to win the game. It has to be a 19-17 style win. They have to keep the Bengals for 14 to 17 points. Very difficult to do. That's why I'm saying I don't think they win this game. They would have to keep Cincinnati in the 14 to 17 point range, and Baltimore would have to score 17 to 19, 20 points. Going to be tough. Going to be tough with this current offense they have, right? Limited wide receivers, no wide receivers. Obviously one of the best tight ends in the league in Mark Andrews, and a very good run game. The run game is going to have to run out of their minds. They're going to have to feed Dobbins and Gus Edwards 30 plus times for him to have a chance. And obviously Huntley's going to have to use his legs. So that's very doable, right? I could see that happening. And that's why that plus, if it gets to 10, I'll be jumping on. Sure, the Bengals are probably going to win this game, right? Great team. You saw that run. It's not like they're new to the playoffs. They made that run last year, and they can make another run here. But if you ever look at when does Burrow struggle, it's against the Ravens defense. His two lowest passer ratings have been against the Ravens this year. Keep that in mind. Roquan Smith, who they just re-signed for the 5-year 10, he's going to be playing out of his mind. I still don't think it will be enough, just because we won't be able to score. If Lamar was playing in this game, I'd probably take Ravens money line, to be honest, because we would get good value on it. Plus 150. Bengals probably be favored by anywhere from 4 to 6. Maybe even less. Maybe a 3.5. So I'd be on the Ravens plus the points, definitely, if Lamar was there. But now we have trouble scoring, and we'll be lucky to score, 14 in this game. It's going to be a 14. If we can get to 20, we have a chance to win this game. If we just stay 14 or below, we lose the game. So, something to keep in mind. I like the total under at 43.5. Now it's 40.5. Tough to get there for me, so I'll be staying away from this game. I'll be enjoying watching it as a fan. Could Bengals blow out the Ravens? I doubt it, just due to the defense. But yes, Bengals could win this game by 10 plus. I wouldn't be shocked. But if it does get to the 10, I'll be backing the Ravens. So watch the market. I think it could move to there. Dallas minus 2.5 versus Bucks. Total 45.5. One meeting this year. Bucks 19-3. Interesting one here, right? Brady 6-0 versus Dallas. They have an impressive win this year over them. Prescott did get hurt in that game, just to keep in mind. Rush came in halfway through, played okay, but the price, or the total at 3 won't tell you that. The line was at 3 all week, and now down to 2.5. Some money coming on the Bucks, guys. I get it, right? Brady playoff time. Some of that money is because of that. Can this defense be like 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl? That's the big question. Can this Bucks defense play well? I think they're fairly healthy now. Dak struggled last game, and he's been struggling all year with the interceptions. Right? I love Dak to throw at least one interception in this game. I think you can get that as a prop. And it's going to be a very close game. It's going to be a very close game here. And both teams have been very tough to read all year. I've had more wins on Dallas than losses. Obviously, we lost on the Dallas game last week because they didn't show up in a big game. But Bucks are you just don't know. You just don't know what team's going to come up. Their defense has been playing fairly well all year. It's just the offense, right? 18 points per game they're scoring. It's not great, right? Bucks are going to have to be in the 20s to win this game. So I won't have a play on this game. It's not going to make my client card. I would have to lean the under at 45.5 just because both defenses are capable of playing well. Both defenses are very capable of playing well. And with the struggles of Dak here, the only way Bucks win this game is to keep, Dallas out of the 20s. So I can see this game being under 45.5. You see the first game, 19-3, kind of tells you anything. It's the first game of the year, so you can't take that into effect too much. But I expect a very close game here, probably a field goal game. And I would have to lean the under 45.5. Didn't make my client card as of yet. Could it? Possibly. I'll be watching the line, see if it moves, see if I can get some 46s out there. But I don't expect a high-scoring game in this one, just because I expect the defenses to be playing well here, especially during the playoffs. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Wildcard, I broke down all the games for you. Hopefully you learned something from there. Gave out some free picks. Like I mentioned, I do have 3 plays pending for clients right now. 2 spreads and a best bet, which I advise you at the top. The best bet has changed drastically the line on the Bills, so we can't really jump on that anymore. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Check out my UFC video if you haven't. It's back this week. I put it out yesterday. And enjoy Wild Card Weekend.